when was the last time you had a hit?
That's a really good question. It would have been into the lead up to the last charity game that I played. Whatever the last charity game, where was that? It might have even been the bushfire game.
So that's at least 4 years ago.
Yeah.
So your young bloke is cricket obsessed. I don't know if your girls are or not, but and we had this discussion when I saw Fletcher at the last test. I've been playing intermittently the last couple of years, and every couple of games I get to play in the sun. And we bowled tandem leg spin 2 weeks ago. We got through, I think, 18 overs between us. And
on the trot?
Well, I bowled 10 and he bowled 8. So there was spin from both ends. Yeah. It was like Boyce at one end and Lloyd Pope.
Which one were you?
Neither. So I flight them up and he really loops them up. But for that hour, it was my favourite hour pretty much of the year. And he took a catch off me, and it's not high quality cricket, but he's coming up and I'm going down, and it's not going to happen for much longer because I'm going to continue to go south. Can you see an opportunity to play with young Fletch at any stage? You've got a bit more of an age difference. So what's he now?
10.
Yep. So you've got to keep looking after yourself for another 3 or 4 years to get that intersection. It's a lot easier where I am country cricket because the boys can play senior cricket as soon as they've got the ability, and it doesn't really happen like that in the city.
Yep.
So can you see a chance where
100%.
you come back and play with him?
100%. And you're going through it now, right? And you're experiencing it. And I'm sure you're loving it.
I love it.
But I bet the boys loving it more.
Yeah, he says he enjoys it.
I bet he's loving it more.
Although a couple of weeks ago, I came back and he lost his spot in the side to me.
What are you talking about?
That caused some real friction. He got pushed down a rung. But yeah, no, I think he does. I think
Best thing that happened in my cricket life was playing with my dad.
What was that like?
Unbelievable. He hadn't played for... so I'm probably 12 or 13, playing my first year of sort of senior third grade cricket at the Mowbray Cricket Club. And, the club cricket back in Tassie, back in third grade, you got all the older boys, right? So it was pretty hardcore stuff.
Yeah.
And I think Dad knew what I was going to be in for. And
you would have been tiny as well.
Little, yeah. I mean, couldn't really, couldn't hardly get the ball off the square. But I was hard to get out, but never, couldn't. I had the technique to sort of be able to survive. But Dad knew what it was going to be all about. And he, as I said, probably hadn't played 15, maybe even 20 years between games of cricket for him. Huh. So he came out to captain we had 2 third grade sides, so he came back to captain one of them, and that was the one that I was in. And still to this day, just to be out there batting with him, and here's me trying to tell him what to do as well. I'm trying to tell him how to bat and what the leg spinner's on. Don't play across hit across the spin and all that sort of stuff.
I got this last week.
Did you? Yeah.
He's like, Dad, you got to get off middle. You got to bowl that side off stuff to this bloke. I'm looking at him saying, all right, Warnie.
So I sort of battled my way through the season, and Dad ended up being the leading run scorer, and
did he?
Yeah, he won the batting averages and aggregate and everything for the association. But just have that. Have someone looking, and I would have had all my teammates would have been looking out for me anyway. Yep. But it's different when your dad's there. You just felt so much safer, and so that was single handedly. And people ask me all the time, "What's the greatest thing that's ever happened?" I'll go back to that thing every time.
So will you get this chance with Fletchy?
But he didn't push me out of the third grade.
No, I wasn't at selection. I was a little bit flat. I was prepared to go down.
Will I get it with Fletch? Absolutely. Well, I'll want to. I'll do it. Yeah, yep. I'll definitely do it. And he. I mean, he is cricket obsessed. He's had a bit of a setback this year with his little back injury that he's got. Yep. But I think that'll make him better and stronger. And he'll be 11 probably by the time he plays. He might not play this whole season, but he might be 11 when he plays again. And I'll be very conscious of making sure that I'm able to do the same if he wants me to. But I mean, even the club that we're at, there's a lot of dads similar sort of age with me, and they're already talking about the club. Actually, I think have a couple of games a year maybe where it's fathers and sons against fathers and sons from other teams. So we'll make sure we're ready to go and play those games at least.